I lived for 92 years, 92 long winters, 92 springs that came and went, 92 years of watching people be born, grow, struggle, love, and disappear. And now I can feel it. My time is folding in on itself. The room is quieter than it has ever been. The walls do not speak any more. The clock ticks louder than my heartbeat. Before I leave this world, before my voice becomes nothing more than a memory in someone else's mind, I need to tell you something.
That is when I began building my fortress, not of stone, but of boundaries. The first time I said no without explaining myself, a brick was laid. The first time I disappointed someone but remained calm, another brick. The first time I chose solitude over approval, another brick. At first, people were shocked. They said I had changed. They said I had become selfish. But here's something important. When you stop living for others, they will accuse you of becoming someone else. But you are not becoming someone else. You are finally becoming yourself. I started writing again, not for money, not for recognition, but because it made me feel alive. When I wrote, I felt connected to something eternal, something bigger than fear, bigger than society, bigger than expectation. And slowly, very slowly, I forgave myself for the years I had wasted, for the dreams I had buried, for the silence I had accepted. Forgiveness is another brick in the fortress. Without it, you live trapped in regret. Now, at 92, regret still visits me, but it no longer controls me. If I could go back to my 25-year-old self, I would not tell her to fight everyone. I would not tell her to abandon her family. I would simply whisper, listen to yourself first. Love your family, but do not let them live inside your skin. Respect your parents, but do not inherit their fears. Care for others, but do not sacrifice your soul at the altar of their comfort. Because here's the truth no one tells you. The world will replace you in weeks. Your job will replace you in days. Even the people who depend on you will learn to survive without you. But you must live with yourself every single day. So make sure the person inside you is not a stranger. When my granddaughter finished speaking that night, I held her hand. Her hands were warm. Mine were fragile. I told her everything I have just told you. She cried, but this time her tears were different. They were not tears of defeat. They were tears of awakening. I told her, you can become a doctor if you choose it, but do not become one out of fear. And if you choose music, choose it with courage. Whatever you choose, let it be yours. I will not be here much longer. My breath is slower now. My body is tired, but my soul, for the first time in my life, is peaceful because I finally reclaimed it. Do not wait 40 years. Do not wait for betrayal. Do not wait for old age to understand this. Your life is not a group project. It is not a family investment plan. It is not a social performance. It is yours, completely, beautifully, terrifyingly yours. Build your fortress. Plant your tree. Protect your inner voice. And when the world says you are wrong, smile gently and keep walking your path anyway. Because one day, when you're 92 and the room is quiet and the clock ticks louder than your heartbeat, you will not regret the risks you took. You will regret the dreams you abandoned. Choose wisely while you still have time.
I lived for 92 years, 92 long winters, 92 springs that came and went, 92 years of watching people be born, grow, struggle, love, and disappear. And now I can feel it. My time is folding in on itself. The room is quieter than it has ever been. The walls do not speak anymore. The clock ticks louder than my heartbeat. Before I leave this world, before my voice becomes nothing more than a memory in someone else's mind, I need to tell you something. Not how to become rich, not how to become famous, not how to win. I want to tell you how not to lose your soul, because that is what I did. It was 3 in the morning when she came to me, my granddaughter, 25 years old. Her eyes were red, her hands were shaking. She tried to be strong, but her voice betrayed her. She sat beside my bed and whispered, "Grandma, I'm tired." There is a kind of tiredness that sleep cannot fix. I recognized it immediately. She said, "I want to make music. I want to create something beautiful, but everyone says it's foolish. They say it won't feed me. They say I must become a doctor. They say it's safe. They say it's respectable. They say it's secure." She paused. Then she said something that broke my heart. "I think I've already killed my dream." Killed. Such a heavy word for someone so young. I looked into her eyes and I saw myself. When I was 25, I was just like her, except my dream was not music, it was stories. I wanted to write. I wanted to sit beneath trees and describe the way the wind moved through leaves. I wanted to capture human pain and human hope in words. I wanted to create worlds. But my father, my dear father, was a practical man. He had lived a life of hardship. He believed safety was love. He told me, "Daughter, writing stories is foolish. It will not feed you. Become a teacher in the village. It is stable. It is safe." And I agreed, because I loved him, because I thought obedience meant gratitude, because I thought sacrifice meant maturity. But now I understand something I wish I had understood then. Sometimes what looks like love is fear wearing a mask. My father was not protecting me from failure. He was protecting himself from fear. Fear that I might struggle. Fear that I might embarrass the family. Fear that I might try and fail. So instead of failing at my dream, I succeeded at killing it. I became a teacher. Every morning I woke up at the same time. I wore the same kind of clothes. I repeated the same lessons. Children came and went. Years came and went. Inside me, something slowly went silent. Have you ever felt that? When your inner voice becomes softer and softer until you can barely hear it? At first it whispers, then it begs, then it stops. 30 years passed before I admitted something to myself. I was not living, I was performing. I was playing the role of a good daughter, a respectable woman, a responsible adult. But I was not me. And the most dangerous prison in the world is the one built from other people's expectations. You think your family knows what is best for you. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they are simply handing you their unfinished dreams, their regrets, their fears, and calling it advice.
I realized much later in life that my father never became what he wanted to be, so he made sure I became what he thought was safe, and I allowed it. That was my mistake. Not that he pressured me, but that I abandoned myself. Then came the second lesson, the painful one. I had secretly continued writing at night when the world slept. I would light a small lamp and write stories in notebooks. I hid them like forbidden treasures. One day I shared one of those stories with my sister. She read it. She smiled. She told me it was beautiful. Months later, I saw my story printed in a small publication under her name. I remember the feeling. It was not anger at first. It was disbelief, like the ground had quietly shifted beneath my feet. When I confronted her, she said something I will never forget. She said, "You were doing nothing with it. I sold it. Now we have money. I saved the household." Saved, such a convenient word. That day I learned people do not always choose love. They choose what benefits them, even the ones you trust, even the ones who share your blood. It hurt, but it also woke me up. I stopped putting people on pedestals. They are human, just as flawed, just as afraid, just as selfish as I was. For most of my life, I believed happiness was something others gave me. If my parents were proud, I was happy. If my colleagues approved, I was happy. If my family praised me, I was happy. Do you see the pattern?